But first, I'd like to introduce you to Caroline Hoffman, Managing Director of The Cube Low Carbon Centre in Portlaoise. Very good morning, Caroline.
Good morning, Ronan.
Caroline, I suppose for a typical listener listening that is considering upgrading their house or doing some form of energy upgrade, what kind of services can The Cube Centre offer them?
Well, we're a 10,000 square foot building consisting of office space, training rooms, but more than that, we have a consultancy and a training service. So we'd work with businesses, community groups, farmers, anybody who's looking to retrofit their home, to save energy, reduce costs ultimately. So we've a busy few weeks ahead of us with different training opportunities. For example, we're supporting businesses through ESG and CSRD training, which is in the pipeline. So there's 3 workshops, one for finance managers, one for SMEs and one for company owners. And then moving into March, Local Enterprise Week kicks off the 3rd of March, the Monday, and we'll be kicking off with how to develop a sustainability action plan for your business. And this will be followed on the Tuesday by a sustainability roadshow in Longford. And then Wednesday we'll be back in the Cube for how to market and communicate your green credentials as a business. But on the residential side for homeowners, we have individual one-to-one SAI clinics with an energy expert. Generally, we hold these each quarter, but I would encourage people to get in touch with us if they'd look for an appointment sooner. They're completely free of charge, they're one-to-one, and you get a dedicated SAI expert to point you in the right direction in terms of supports and grants available and what you're eligible for.
What is people's typical starting point, or sometimes is there a sense of there is so much out there and so much maybe I think I should know, I actually don't know where to start in the first place? Sounds like the Cube could be the place to go, particularly for those workshops.
Absolutely. Our website is cubecentre.ie, or you can Google us, The Cube Portlaoise, and you'll get my contact details there. And do reach out to us if you're a homeowner unsure of where to start your retrofitting journey, or if you're a business looking for a bespoke training consultancy. We can offer that free of charge or sometimes at a reduced cost. But as a starting point, when it comes to the SAI grants, you have 3 options as a homeowner. You have the Warmer Home Scheme, which is for people who are eligible under certain welfare payments. You have the one-stop shop, and then you have the individual grants. So at the moment, we've seen a flurry of solar PV grants in the last number of months, but that's also partly because the government has reduced it by €300 from a maximum of 2,100 down to €1,800. So the Cube, we're trying to put a bit of pressure on our incoming government because obviously with the programme for government, it doesn't make sense to be reducing it by €300 each year. There's other options under the individual grants as well around heating controls or wall insulation. For example, the median cost of external wall insulation would be about 21,000 for your average semi-D, and you can get a grant of 6,000. So that would cost you about €16,000. So there's all these little things that work well to improve the energy efficiency of your home, and ultimately, as we've seen over the cold weather, it can also reduce your energy costs as well and save in your pocket.
Yeah, you'd imagine with the new government set to come in like that, they'd be looking at increasing the amount of money you could get back on solar panels, because they're proven for a lot of people to be an absolute no-brainer, and they're doing what they say they do and they are delivering. So if we all had them on our roofs, maybe it would make a huge dent in the carbon emissions, given what we're learning is probably going to come from the US, in the next 4 years anyway. You've mentioned there things like those solar panels, external insulation, heating controls. There really is kind of everything is open to be looked at as well. Are there limitations though on what you can apply for? Does the age of a property, your location have a factor on an application?
So you need to have built your property or have lived in your property prior to 2011 for insulation, heating controls, and then for heat pumps and renewable systems, you'd be looking at a property that's pre-2021. So I'd certainly encourage people to contact us, check out your eligibility, see what's suitable, see what's a good starting point. Things like the one-stop shop, they are a large amount of money. For example, if you're looking at a semi-D, the median cost to carry out works would be about 61,000, and you'd be allocated a grant of about 20,000. So your cost after the grant would be about 41,000, and this would include your heat pump, your windows and doors, your wall insulation, your solar panels, ventilation. And it's quite interesting to see the one-stop shop. It is a large commitment financially, but there are loans out there for green kind of efficiency loans for your property and retrofitting, so they are worth looking at. But the one-stop shop, the highest number of homes, 39% last year, availed of grants between 50 to 75,000 euro, which is a huge amount.
That is extremely substantial. Does that apply to just a retrofit of the existing property, say as it stands, or if somebody was looking at also extending, say, a little bit that property, can they draw down those grants under those circumstances?
If they haven't used the individual grants before, they should be eligible. It is worth checking out, or people who are looking at derelict properties as well. There's an option there as well. There's great grants along the line for derelict and vacant properties as well, that are worth looking at. But I'd certainly encourage people to start looking at even the little things, like changing your light bulbs in your home can make a difference. And if you're looking at things like solar PV, do your research, reach out to your neighbours who've availed of it, because unfortunately there are companies out there that aren't as good as others. So I'd encourage people to do their research, price around. Don't be in a rush to make a decision either, and do engage with us in the SAI. And as I said, we can engage with the SAI, we can organise a one-to-one meeting, and you can sit down and have that discussion with an expert in their field.
I can imagine it's important to engage an expert, because you might think for your house, say if it's a detached bungalow and maybe it's 50 years old, you might look at your house going, right, external insulation and a heat pump is going to solve all my problems. You might actually find there are other elements that you should either look at first or may actually return better for you.
Absolutely, and the starting point would be to get a BER assessor out, and they'll be able to see the areas of your home that are losing energy, that aren't as efficient as they may be. There's good tools online as well, where you can input your air code, and it's based on kind of properties in your area, and it'll see what the average BER is and where those types of properties are failing. So things like windows and doors can make a huge difference, but unfortunately they're only available under the one-stop shop. So hopefully with the programme for government, we'll see that changing, because obviously the government are under pressure to meet targets, and I think it's a poor decision that they decided to reduce the solar PV grant, and I hope they backtrack on that, because that's the starting point for so many people, and you get your payback within 4 or 5 years. There's other options to add, like an EV charger. If you have a plug-in hybrid or an electric car, there's a grant available for that as well. And also energy storage and selling back to the grid. So if you're not in your home, certain times of the year, or you're away, there's an opportunity to sell back the energy that you don't use.
Well, Caroline and the Cube Centre will be exhibiting at the Midlands 103 Green Home and Energy Show on the 23rd of February in the Tullamore Court Hotel. Entry is absolutely free. Just go to midlands103.com to find out more information. Caroline, what will you be showing on the day, and what can people expect to see at your stand?
Well, I'd be delighted to meet with homeowners, business owners, farmers who are looking to retrofit their home, decarbonise. If you're looking at consultancy, for example, if you're a business that has exhausted your Enterprise Ireland or local enterprise office funding and supports, there might be an option there to engage with us and a consultant. We also offer bespoke training. So if you're a community group or you're a business as well, looking for sustainability or decarbonisation training, we can arrange that. And our upcoming SEI clinics as well that we'll be confirming. We'd be delighted for people to engage, and they can meet us in person for those clinics, or they can arrange a follow-up call or Zoom call afterwards.
Fantastic. Caroline, all the very best at the Green Home and Energy Show, and thank you for coming across this morning.
Thanks.
That's Caroline Hoffman there, Managing Director of the Cube Low Carbon Centre in Portlaoise. What a great way to spend your Sunday. 23rd of February, entry is free, Tullamore Court Hotel. You can learn DIY, pick the brain of experts like Caroline, and win some great prizes. Plus, you get to meet TV architect Hugh Wallace if you're lucky, and lots of new exhibitors. So, lots happening there. After the quick break, we're going to meet another exhibitor on the day. It'll be Dave Walsh from Dave's Chimney Repairs. So, loads of questions coming in around chimney, maintenance, repair, and also around stoves and what you can do to maybe increase the energy efficiency of your own home.